Salutations, everypup, and welcome to chapters 9 and 10 of Sorry, Wrong Number by ShizunaRey. As always, a link to the fic will be in the description below, and with that out of the way, let's jump on into it. Chapter 9, Poppy Jake. Author's notes. Whee! It's been a few days, hasn't it? Anyways, I suddenly got some motivation kicking in and decided to write shit down. Plus, I wrote my last exam yesterday, so I have a bit more time. Also, my Venom spider suit arrived a few days ago, and I did a little contest, and the gender I get... And I did a little costas, and the gender I get out of that thing. So trans, besties. So trans. Heart. After Peter had walked off from the laboratories, he considered going back to the weird, probably not alien guy, yet a message from Ned about their physics group assignment made him change his mind. Quickly rebooting Friday and grabbing a school bag from the Avengers common room, he checked out of the tower and took a train back to Queens, listening to music all the way home while scrolling through his Twitter timeline. Official.Spider-Man @FriendlySpydor. Gah! Life goes bonk. Daredevil @Devil of Hell's Kitchen. You truly are a menace. Official.Spider-Man @FriendlySpydor. Frowny face. Shuri @Wakanda's Prink. Bunk bunk. Official.Spider-Man @FriendlySpydor. Smiley face. Smiling to himself, Peter turned off his phone and waited until he finally arrived. From there on, he made his way to Ned's, his school stuff already in his backpack. Jake was starting to get bored. Sure, it was funny to piss Mark off and good to get some time to front, but he usually only did so when they were in immediate danger. It was weird adjusting to the whole boundaries shit Steven had set up, but it wasn't something he overly concerned himself with. So now he was fronting in a blank, boring fucking room with nothing to do. Spider-Kid also didn't come back. Sighing, Jake plopped himself back onto the bed. Honestly, Stark should really get some entertainment in these cells. Ay, que mierda! Man even took his phone. And of course, Khonshu now had to make himself visible again. Break out! Ah, puta madre! Jake definitely let out a very manly shriek. What the fuck do you want? How dare you speak with that tone, Lockley? I'm in the fucking cell, Dios mío! I am aware. How am I supposed to break out? Break out! Jake looked towards the god, an annoyed expression on his face. Yeah, of course, let me just... He stood up and with all his might ran against the glass wall. It didn't even crack. Again! Die in a ditch! Again, worm! Hey now, you only call Steven that, got it? Worm! You may refer to me as Jake Lockley, Bestie, or Poppy, and that's it, you fuck! You dare! Author's notes. Also, I drew some Jake Lockley fan art, so check that out if you want to. Then there's a link. Chapter 10. Capsicle got yeeted. Author's notes. New chapter again! Smiley face. Tried to get this one to be longer than the last. Not proofread because it's 2 a.m. and I'm lazy. By the way, I finished my Daredevil Season 1 cosplay, the one where he has a black thingy over his head and not the full suit. And I'm currently making a Venom prop, so yeah, pretty happy about that. It was about 9 hours into their containment now. In that time, Jake argued and somehow flirted with Khonshu to Mark and Steven's great disapproval, as well as downright refused any sort of switch. I literally hid from you guys for years. I think I ought to deserve un poquito tiempo for me, eh? The rest of the time, so about 4 hours, he let the body rest again. Sleeping. Meanwhile, Tony was in a PR meeting with Pepper and the rest of the Avengers. There was a speech to be presented due to a few hours, and they wanted to give them a quick rundown. It wasn't like everyone would do the talking. No, that was all on the Captain, Iron Man, and the CEO of Stark Industries. Yet the others were supposed to stand behind them and look pretty, maybe even throw in a smile or a nod at times. The whole thing was supposed to be about heroism. The media started going into the Accords again, despite it being years past them, and began criticizing the Avengers. Normally, it wouldn't be that big of a deal, but now there was a massive Facebook and Twitter campaigns against them, and Stark was tired of having to track every single one of them down to investigate possible terrorism threats. And soon enough, they all stood on stage, cameras completely focused on them, and a crowd of reporters staring expectantly. Pepper started. How do you explain why some people are able to achieve things that seem impossible? There was a short pause. We have these people right here. People that achieved the impossible. Heroes that achieved the impossible. They saved our planet, mind you, multiple times, without even thinking of asking anything in return. So why? How can one possibly explain the motive? The speech continued for a bit, and after Tony and then Steve also had their turn, the actual press conference was about to start. The first reporter was just about to throw in a question when Captain America suddenly got thrown up a bit into the air by some kind of invisible force, and shaken around. The Avengers, suddenly fully alerted, immediately began trying to get some kind of control into the situation and fight whatever just came around. The Falcon and Pepper started helping evacuate the civilians, only to get swept away by the mass panic. Steve somehow managed to free himself by punching whatever it was, wherever he could hit it. What are we dealing with? He asked, slowly moving around in circles, trying to guess from where the next attack will be coming from. Tony's mechanical voice answered, No idea. Friday can't get anything on the scanners. Suddenly, he was tackled to the ground. At the same time, something tried to take a swing at Natasha. Okay, invisible large and strong monsters. That's fine. We've dealt with worse. Tony tried to struggle against the thing holding him down. Suddenly, a big claw mark made itself across the red of his Iron Man suit. So naturally, he sent a shot towards the thing. It fucking whimpered? Captain and the window dealt with the other thing. Clint was trying his best, but he left his hearing aids in the tower, and shooting at invisible targets was turning out to be quite difficult when they were moving around and fighting off his teammates. Finally, Friday was able to get vague sound directions, so Tony just shot the thing a few more times. At the same time, Steve held the other one down. It looked like he awkwardly floated, while Nat just stabbed into it, trying to find a weak spot. Finally, Steve hit the ground and was surrounded by sand. The same thing happened with Tony. One more shot, and sand just flew everywhere. He let the Iron Man suit fold onto itself and picked up some of the sand, letting it run through his fingers before putting a bit away to test it later on. The other three slowly surrounded him. Clint broke the silence first. Good conference. 8 out of 10. I think we got the point across. I just really hope the camera still got how Capsicle got flung away. Steve let out a long, suffering sigh. Let's just get to the tower. This whole thing will probably need another press conference by itself. Nah, I'll just tweet an apology. Tony. Back at the tower, they all met up at the kitchen area, Tony putting on a pot of coffee while the others were just sitting around. He swiftly turned around to face them. Okay, so we've got invisible monsters now. Anything you all got from today? Natasha was the first who answered. A bit similar than Steve. A bit smaller than Steve when on, probably on 4 legs, double that when on 2, so it's animal-like, durable, and extremely fast. Probably not as sentient as a human, and only whimpered and growled. Yeah, I think Nat got it all covered. Also, I am fucking starving. Move out of the way, Stark. I'm going to raid this fridge now. Natasha smiled at Clint, who just stood up with a slight groan and shooed the billionaire away. Suddenly, Tony's eyes went wide, and he exclaimed a strained, Fuck! What? Tony just stared into nothingness for a few seconds before he quickly took some fruits and leftovers out of the fridge and ran off. Okay, but that wasn't because of me, right? I wasn't going to eat his beloved leftovers. Sam's eyes had narrowed as he stared at the door Tony had disappeared in. Natasha had rolled her eyes and directly addressed an AI. The AI. Friday, could you pull up the cams, specifically on Tony? Of course, Agent Romanoff. Suddenly, a big holographic screen pulled up, everyone watching it in interest. It showed Tony speed walking through the tower until he had reached the elevator. In there, he muttered something like, "Can't believe I forgot to fucking feed him," and pulled out his phone. At the 11th door, at the 11th floor, the elevator came to a halt and Tony stepped out. He passed the training rooms and finally stopped at the entrance of the so-called cell corridor. "Unbelievable," Sam muttered as they continued watching Tony struggle to type in the code to the door with his hands full, and finally disappear in the corridor. The camera switched again, and they saw Tony hurrying off to the very last door. Another switch, and now they could see that there was actually a man inside it. He was sleeping. Unfucking-lievable. Author's notes. Happy Pride Month, y'all! Also, the beginning of the speech is shamelessly stolen by James Hance's TED Talk that I had to listen to in school. And that's a wrap on chapters 10 and 11 of... Oh, wait, no. 9 and 10, 10 and 11. That's a wrap on chapters 10 and 11 of Sorry, Wrong Number. Please go show the original author, ShizunaRey, some love. Please leave me a comment. I love having your comments. They make me so happy when I read them. Also, please specifically leave me hate comments, and I'll shout you out in the next video. All that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye, pups.